If you are the type of person who is generous to a fault, and I hate to say that term because how could somebody be generous to a fault? But if you have an inkling that this is you, you're being generous, you're helpful, you're available, and yet your income in your business is not matching the amount of help that you're giving to other people, then this video is for you. I want to talk I want to bring clarity to the topic that sometimes helping too much is hurting the profit in your business. So if you're the kind of person who shows up, you're supporting others, you're answering all the questions, you fill in the gaps, because that's just who you are. You're naturally very, very helpful. But feel like your business is not growing and feel like it might be what's keeping you stuck, overwhelmed, and underpaid. Listen, I know it sounds harsh, but I say this from compassion because I really do believe yes, the world is unfair. Sometimes the most gifted entrepreneurs do not get paid what for the value they bring to the world. Why? Because you're being too helpful and it's hurting the profits in your business. Being too helpful can keep you from getting paid. So I'm going to explain about all of this. Stay tuned. All right. So, first of all, in case we're meeting for the very first time, my name is April Bragg, and I help gifted but overextended entrepreneurs gain the clarity they need, set up the systems, and so that they can have profitable businesses that do not burn them out. I help them get paid to get their mission out in the world. So there's this aspect of, and when we are mission led businesses, entrepreneurs, then sometimes we have a really hard time balancing paying the bills versus leading with our heart. I think that there's a way that those two things work beautifully together, but we need to be aware of the obstacles that are in our way. So, why do we do this? Number one, it's because we are trained to, as in, sometimes we grew up in settings where it was just deeply ingrained that money is yucky and evil, or let's not talk about it, or it's messy, or it's a necessary evil. But service is so much better. Well, I think that we should debunk the myth that service without being paid is higher service than service that is paid. And at the very end, I'm going to share a truth that truly transformed my life on this topic about paid service versus unpaid service. But smart, capable women keep on doing this so much. They keep on giving away their talents for free. And it's because um, in our desire to help, we are confusing deep down, we're confusing helping with proving. We think that our value lies in being useful. Maybe we were raised to be helpful. We were trained to be available, even taught that good women serve or that good leaders show up, good friends say yes all the time. And again, not here to demonize helping because service is beautiful, but there's a difference between serving from overflow and serving from guilt, fear, or performance. If you feel like you have to say yes, that is either guilt, fear, or performance. That is not serving from abundance. It's when we get to say yes and we can say, sure, I've got the time. I'd love to do that. This is the goal that I'm always trying to get my clients to is the point where their business is running so smoothly, saving them time and energy and mental bandwidth and bringing in profits in a steady way so that they have more time on the back end to do even more of saying yes to the things that delight their heart. So that's why I say I don't believe it has to be one or the other. I think it has to be done in order. So, one type of service fills us up, and the other type of service wears us out. When we are serving from overflow, then it's just in abundance and we delight in doing it. But when we're serving from guilt or fear or performance, then we are teetering on exhaustion. Most overhelpers are not trying to be martyrs. Some are. I'm guessing you're not. You're probably not following me if you're the martyr type. I speak too harshly to attract too many martyrs in my audience. But they are trying to be generous, or they are naturally just so generous. My husband is actually one of these types. He is not a martyr or any type, but he is a naturally very generous person who had to learn how to um, set healthy boundaries to build his business, to build a profitable business. So, and I'm going to get to the three archetypes of overhelping in just a second. But when we are focused on being generous, to be kind, sometimes we're focused on trying to just be seen. Like, I want to help so people know that I can help. But here's the truth: if your helping comes from fear of being selfish, or from guilt, or from a need to be needed, and we have to be super honest with ourselves to catch that one, a need to be needed, it's not helping, it's actually hiding. So you're hiding your true value behind busyness, or maybe you're avoiding bold leadership because you're being everybody else's backup plan. Oh my gosh, this is where I struggled. I avoided leading for a while because I was everybody else's backup plan, and it felt very, very good to be so helpful. They'd be so I was getting paid in compliments versus cash. Terrible way to run a business, getting paid in compliments versus cash. Sometimes you're focused on building a reputation instead of building a business. Now, there is a place for that. There is a place to intentionally, Russell Brunson teaches this very, very well. He specifically, when he was building his business, he went out and picked certain people and said, let me build you a funnel. Let me demonstrate what my software can do for your business. I will do it for free. If it works, then I would like you to give you a testimony. But you'll notice if you really pay attention, he didn't do it for free forever, and he didn't do it for free for everyone. He very specifically approached a few people that were already successful and said, let me show you how my business can help augment your success. When we're overhelping, we are not usually looking at it that way, that strategically. Okay, so we're going to clear this up. We're going to end your over helping confusion. We're going to give you clarity today. Okay, so again, if you are been pouring yourself out but can't seem to gain traction, then listen to this and hit subscribe if if it benefits you at all. Share it with somebody else if you know they need to hear it. But let's talk about the three hidden ways that overhelping is sabotaging your business, and the exact things that you can do as if you identify yourself as one of these three archetypes. So the first type, the firefighter. This is helping from false urgency. So, this is mistake number one. You're reacting to everybody else's needs instead of leading from your calling. You are giving all of your time and attention is going to everybody else. And at the end of the day, there's nothing left for your poor, struggling business. Kind of like the Cinderella syndrome. But let's call it the firefighter, okay? So, the firefighter, he or she is the person who drops everything the moment that somebody needs her. She's brilliant, she's compassionate, she's deeply capable, but she's also completely exhausted. Every time somebody's in a crisis, she's there. even if it means putting her priorities on hold. In fact, sometimes she will not even set priorities because she feels like that will get in the way of service. This is, she'll say yes, even if it throws off her entire week, and even if it costs her peace or it costs her revenue. So she is constantly reacting to other people's emergencies. She's constantly getting texts. She's constantly getting DMs. She is constantly dropping whatever she was working on or not even making plans. Think about the firefighter. I've talked to a couple of firefighters and they seem to have the same kind of schedule of like 48 hours on and then maybe 72 hours off and 48 hours on or something like that. Or maybe 48 hours on, 48 hours off. Somebody can clear that up in the comments for me. They do that for a reason. That is a very, very smart and strategic model for the firefighter because it actually is the solution that the firefighter type needs to make money while also being available to save people, to be very um, generous. Okay. So here's the deal when you're the firefighter type, you feel like it's how you show love. You call it support. You're calling it generosity. But what it is actually a lack of boundaries. Because here's the truth even if you can help, it doesn't mean that you should. Did that surprise you when I said that? Even if you can help, it doesn't mean that you should. If you're the type of person who has been entrusted with a calling, trusted with a business, then God didn't give that to you so that you could babysit somebody else's chaos. You're not a rescue plan, you are a visionary. And let's be honest, most of those fires that you're putting out, you're probably not even getting paid for. At least the firefighter is getting paid for his 48 hours on, his 48 hours off. Which, did you notice the solution? It's setting boundaries. This is the time that I'm working on my stuff. This is the time that I am working on income producing activities. It just so happens that the firefighters, two things align. Um, you're delaying your own growth to meet the needs that are not yours. Just because you see the need and just because you can solve the need does not mean that the need is yours to solve. And especially maybe not even for free. Sometimes free is really not the best kind of help that we can offer somebody. Again, at the end of this video, I'm going to share the one thought that might blow your mind. I know it blew mine when I realized it. So it's not strategic, it's self sabotage dressed up as kindness. So if you are the firefighter, the solution that you need is to offer boundaries. Help within clear containers, like a paid, a scheduled, a systemized container. Your yes needs to be sacred, not automatic. Your yes needs to be aligned with what you're doing. So this is where you'll want to create like a very specific list of these are the times that I say yes. These are the kind of helps that I give for free. This is the kind of help that I give for paid. And also catch yourself when it's like, well, what if they can't afford it? Well, decide what you're going to do about that ahead of time. This one shift will change how you work, how you lead, and how you feel. If you're the firefighter, you setting boundaries will be a game changer for your business. Okay, that's type number one. Type number two, the hamster. You are helping, but you're doing the same things over and over again, and they could be systematized. You're going in circles. So you're repeating what could be recorded. This is, and at the end, I'm going to share with you, because I did struggle with all of these. I'm going to share with you how I actually overcame all of these in one fell swoop. So the second type is the hamster. She's running hard. She's answering questions. She's giving advice. She's sharing strategy, but she's never going anywhere. She's talking to all the people. She's saying the same things over and over and over again. But she's exhausted. Every time somebody reaches out to her, ask a question, she writes a new reply. She gives the same advice, the same encouragement, the same tools over and over again. She is doing the same thing 1,000 times. She's being very, very helpful, too helpful, and she is not systemizing her help. So instead of capturing it once and reusing it, she's reinventing the wheel every single time. I realized that I was doing this. And so that is why I created a YouTube channel. I started out by doing a podcast, and then I went to a YouTube channel. I realized actually I could make my time so much more valuable and I can make my help so much more valuable if I would record some topics that my paying clients are struggling with and I can share them for free. For one thing, they end up being a reminder for my clients. But secondly, they end up being free help for somebody who may not be able to afford me yet. Ideally, they would use the help, they would find so much benefit, and then they would sign up to work with me. And so that was the reason why I started the podcast and then moved on to YouTube. And that's the reason why I'm recording this video because my clients are struggling with this. They're a firefighter, they're a hamster, they're the third type. So, this is an example of me showing what it looks like to help for free with boundaries and to save tons of energy by using systems. So instead of repeating the same things over and over again, we record it once and share it forever. And that could be a Google document. That could be so you turn your help into income producing assets. Okay. They're either income producing because they're bringing more people into your world, they're building an audience, or they are income producing because they're helping your clients get better results because they can go to that asset. Or they're just a standalone asset that you sell. That's a wonderful thing to do too. So, if you feel like you're giving little bits of help, but you're saying the same thing over and over and over again, doing the same thing over and over again, then get off the hamster wheel, create a system. I used to do this also with my kids when I realized, oh my gosh, they're old enough to do this. I just need to take the time to train them to do it. That's the system. Listen, being a mom is such a great training for entrepreneurship if you will pay attention to the lessons that are there. So, if you are constantly replying but never repurposing, if then your business is being built on energy instead of assets. Create some assets to conserve your energy, okay? And that becomes a recipe for burnout if you don't do that. So, the solution to you, the hamster, is if you're saying something more than once, then capture it, turning it into an FAQ page or a short video, a paid resource, a template. That is the difference between being drained by service and scaling through service. This is how you scale by turning to systems to save you energy while giving the same level of help, even better help, because you're training the people who need your help to become self sufficient, to go and get it, and to be able to get it without having to wait for you to provide it. So, this is how leaders build businesses instead of draining back up. Okay. So the third type. Oh my goodness. I love this client especially well. This is because this problem has been compounded so much by our social media overly connected lives. And that is the third type of overhelping is the hostage. You get no focus time. Everything is interrupting you, and you never get to your deep work. So, this is you being stuck in your inbox, always available, always responding, constantly reachable, never able to turn it all off and get rooted back, grounded in your deep work. You're checking your messages, you're jumping on quick calls, you're answering emails. You're so busy being available that you are never creating. You're not creating systems, you're not creating your deep work, you are not thinking of new ways to help your clients. This is where you're ignoring the visionary aspect of your business because you are too busy. That is a huge problem because real growth does not come from reaction, but it comes from doing this deep work. This is what gives your business deep roots that help it to grow. So you might have brilliant ideas and powerful insights, but you never have enough time to go deep into them, to bring them into fruition. You're interrupted before he even starts. And every time you get pulled away, you lose a little bit of your clarity and maybe even your confidence. And here's what makes it worse: you're not even getting paid to be available at this level. I'm thinking of emergency room doctors, who are being paid to be instantly available for whatever, being well paid to be instantly available for whatever. Even they have boundaries on their time. All right. You are giving. If you're the hostage, you are ironically giving of the best, highest asset away for free, and that is your attention. And it's costing you the future business that you can build. Very, very costly. And all of us are struggling with this. So, the solution to this is to protect your sacred focus time. This is why when I work with clients, I start out, at least in the first 3 months, by saying we are going to work together on a weekly basis, 45 minutes a week, because I know this, and they may not realize it yet. That might be the only 45 minutes of focus that they get at all for themselves, for their business. And the amount of benefit, the amount of future planning and solid help that we can create in just 45 minutes by brainstorming together and by just creating a focused space is astounding. And then often, sometimes my clients will continue with me. But after that first 3 months, sometimes they're ready to go even deeper in focus. And I love this. For example, I have some clients that are every other week for 90 minutes. And so they're going even deeper into focus and we're going even further out. But it's the same concept of they have ceased being a hostage helper, and they are being a powerful leader in their own business. So this is where deep, deep growth happens and fast growth, deep learning, fast growth. Okay, so the amount of clarity and execution and progress that can happen when you create deep focus time for you and your business, it is seriously an underrated powerful action that most businesses, I think, are lacking. So deep work is rare. That's why it's priceless. Okay, so what do all of these three types have in common? This is the thought that I wanted to share with you, that I promised you. Maybe it'll help you understand and really ground in this truth that we're talking about. All these three types in common, they're overgiving in the wrong direction as they are being helpful, but at their own expense. They're being generous, but to people that haven't invested yet, and they're busy, but they're not actually building. So, just to recap, the firefighter if you're the firefighter, you're giving of your schedule away for free. The hamster is giving of her wisdom for free, and the hostage is giving away her attention for free. And the cost is your focus, your momentum, your income. But here's the truth. This is what you're going to remind yourself. This is what you're going to put on a sticky note and put it on your phone and put it on your computer and put it wherever you need. Your clients, the people who pay, are ready to learn. This is what I tell myself when I'm looking for help. People who pay are ready to learn. And then I go and look for somebody who is selling the exact type of help that I need instead of downloading a whole bunch of freebie options that might prove a distraction. Am I ready to pay for this type of help? Okay, well, then I am serious about working on this area of my life or my business. People who pay are ready to learn. They say when when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yes. And when the student is ready, pay for the teacher, pay for valuable time saving help. The kind of help that saves your time, gives you the exact wisdom you need and gives you focused attention on the problem that you're working on. Okay, so when someone invests, they show up. I've noticed this over and over again. I can help somebody for free and say the exact same thing, or I can tell one of my clients who's paid me, and she will take it so much further and so much deeper and so much to heart, and she will do something with it. It's what the Bible's talking about when it says casting your pearls before swine. Okay. By the way, I'm not saying that you're I'm not calling anybody swine. Let's just be clear there. But I'm also saying sometimes you're not asking for money because you're not seeing your wisdom as pearls. You're seeing it as, oh, it's just help. It's just help. And that is what I'm trying to say here. Sometimes helping for free is saying, I'm not even sure that my help is worth being paid for. And so I'm hoping that somebody else will say, your help is so worth it. You should charge people for this. Be courageous enough to believe that and to believe that and offer it. Okay. I think I'm going to do a video next week that I actually will go deeper into that about charging from integrity. But this isn't about being stingy, it's about being strategic. You don't need to do more. You need to lead more. Lead more in your business. Lead more with the help that you're giving. Again, there's a way to do both of these together. The firefighter sets boundaries. The hamster creates systems. The person in hostage mode is creates focus time to go deeper. Stop believing that they are at which also requires a little bit of boundary setting. All of them work together. But you can do for free. You're just going to want to set boundaries and systems and create time to do stuff for free, more stuff for free. That is why recently I simplified my business even more because I got very clear that the person that I'm trying to help is the gifted but overextended entrepreneur. As in, when I talk to them, I can see, oh my goodness, the thing that you are trying to build is going to help hundreds, if not thousands. But it's not in front of hundreds and thousands of people because you're being distracted by all these other things. And when I got very simple on that, then I simplified my offers. It's like I'm just focusing on this category of my client that keeps on showing up to me over and over again. And the benefit of that is it then frees up my time because those people highly value it. It frees up my time to then have more time to help other people for free so that they can grow to become the person, the gifted entrepreneur that is overextended. So you see how it's a beautiful cycle of there is a place for both of them. But if your free is costing you money, that is not a sustainable system. If you, in your brilliance and all the brilliance that you're sharing for free, burn out, nobody gets your help. Dare to charge, dare to believe that your help is valuable, dare to get clear and learn how to communicate that value in a way so that people can pay you. Make sure you have systems for people to pay you. And then from abundance, from overflow, then you get to this is what's so blowing from a mind blowing. Sorry. I'm getting so excited. I'm cutting all my words off. This is what is so mind blowing. When you get on that side of the equation, then you get to help even more people for free. It's crazy how it works. So, if you are over helping, self identify which part. And if you'd like help, wait, let me recap. So, you're helping too much because somewhere along the way that you believe that helping equals value. But real value comes from aligned service. It comes from intentional generosity. It comes from strategic leadership, and leadership is self leadership. I did a video on that last week. You are not a bottomless well, okay? But you can create a cycle where you can keep on giving from overflow, okay? So, if this hit home, here's the three shifts. You need to build boundaries around your help. You need to turn your answers into assets. And you need to block off sacred, uninterrupted focus, deep work time every week. Most of all, start honoring yourself. Start honoring the value of your calling, of the work that you do, of what you're trying to bring into the world. So, it doesn't have to be either or, but your most valuable is not by giving everything away for free. It's your most valuable contribution is leading with wisdom, authority, clarity. And if this is something that resonated with you and you're ready to have help in this, if you're a gifted but overextended entrepreneur and you'd like to grow your business with sacred clarity and sustainable energy, then I invite you to book a free clarity call. I put a link in the description below. And on that 45-minute call, what we'll do is we will identify the one bottleneck that is holding you back. And then I'll show you the exact shift or the exact thing or a plan that will kind of help you get to the next level. We'll solve one bottleneck for you and get you more clarity and get you back into action. Okay. All right. So, did this video help you? Do you feel like, oh, okay, I don't have to feel guilty if I say no? Or, I can see a way that helping does not have to sabotage the profits in my business. Then definitely hit a like. That'll help other people find the video. If you had an aha moment, I invite you to put that in the comments because that helps other people and helps anchor the thought in your mind. And share it with somebody. And subscribe so you don't miss the video that I'm going to do next week, going deeper into how to price with clarity. Okay. So, again, remember, you don't have to be burnt out to be valuable. You don't have to give away all of your valuable stuff to prove your worth. And you are called to lead. You can even lead in service. Leadership and service are not exclusive to each other. Servant leadership is the model that Jesus promoted. Okay. So, yes, you still get to help. Yes, you still get to be generous. But if your generosity is creating burnout in your life, then it's coming from the wrong place. So, get to the bottom of that. All right. Talk to you next week. Bye bye.